Howdy everyone, Meow the Meow Man Meowskevich here. I've been thinking for a little bit. Meow is getting up there in age, and my mental health is not the best. I'm not very good at keeping up with like a written journal, but I decided why not make sort of like a vlog, as it were. So, going to be starting these potentially monthly gaming journals, as it were. Or gaming diary, whatever you want. I'm just basically going to be talking about what games I've played during the month, random little thoughts I may have with them. There's no real time limit on these. I'm just pretty much just going to ramble until I feel done rambling. So we're starting with this month, June of 2025. And this month has been a little bit busy gaming-wise. A lot of little games I've played throughout this month. Of course, kicking it off with Elden Ring and Night Rain. It was okay. It's not great. It felt kind of messy. Like, they had cool things, like items have passive abilities. Cool things, like in the tutorial, you could get Rogier's Rapier, and it passively spawns glint blades. That was cool. But the actual main game itself did not feel good to play. You were basically constantly at RNG's mercy, and not in a good way. You could get caught in dead ends, and the Fortnite Ring of Death shrinks in on you, and you're just screwed because RNG dictated there would not be a Spirit Spring there this time to get on top of the cliff. And the only other way around is back halfway into the middle of the continent, so there's zero chance of getting out of that situation. If you got into a situation like that, you're just screwed. That's it. And everything, it just generally felt like a lot of stuff was not worth bothering doing, and the limited amount of time you had to do anything, you couldn't really take a look at weapons you were picking up. And just, it's like, there's a lot of cool ideas, but the execution was just, no thank you. Not fun. So after that, I moved on to Terror of Hemosaurus. I like games like Rampage 2, my beloved, and I also like Total Destruction, which conveniently also had Rampage 2 bundled in it. But they're fun games where you play as giant monsters destroying cities. Terror of Hemosaurus is in a similar vein, but it's more focused on physics-based gameplay, which is okay, but like, I have a few little nitpicks. The game kind of starts slow. You only start with the ability to like punch buildings, and it's whatever. and you slowly gain more abilities. And it picks up about halfway, but it gets a little bit dull. The story mode was silly, and playing the free play mode, I played as the pangolin character for that. He is overpowered because he can just instantly destroy buildings. But the game's gameplay gets a little dull after a while. There's not enough going on to make it interesting. Not like Rampage, where you could get like power-ups and stuff. There's actually reason to climb the buildings. And like you can climb buildings in Terra Saurus, but there's no real reason to. Just break the lower part of the building and then move on to the next as they topple like dominoes. And that's basically all there is to it. So, after that weekend of playing Terra of Haemosaurus, Night Rain got a patch, which thankfully addressed some bits of stuff. The game's performance was smoothed out. They added a thing where in single player, you get a free 1-up as any character. Because originally only the welder had a auto 1-up, but now everybody gets one as well. I think Wielder gets to have one in addition to his base kit one. I haven't tried though. And I was actually able to beat the first boss, because one of the things that just kind of flatlines my runs the first week of release was enemies doing overtuned levels of damage. Like, you had high page scribes things, whatever they're called. I think they're called high pages. They got this explosive crossbow and they just instantaneously kill you, even though they're a mook. It's wildly inconsistent how much damage things will do to you. And the bosses that they choose are a little ridiculous too. Like, Margit appears, but he's now got anime powers. And those who know me know that I don't like how fast the Souls games have gotten over the years. I liked them when they're more slow and methodical. But anyways, the extra 1-up really does carry you. And they also boosted how many souls you get when you are just one player, which also helps. There's still issues though, like you still can't quit out from a match without shutting the whole game. You can't really have any time to make any real builds. Like, you can get relics and stuff that boost certain things, like you can get a thing that boosts Flame of Frenzy spells. But, like, it's great and all, but there's no guarantee I'll be able to build into that. So why would I ever use it? And yeah, I just put down Night Rain after a while. I don't feel like it's a bad game, but it's definitely not for me. It's probably my least favorite Souls game, bumping Dark Souls 3 off of that throne. But Dark Souls 3 is at least a C rank game in my eyes, and Night Rain is kind of like a D. It passes, but it's not an honor student, as it were. So I've also gotten back into doing randomizers this month. Been doing them each Monday for the most part. I missed one because I was off to the doctor's that day. Nobody wanted to do it anyways that day, so we just all collectively took the day off. But aside that, we've been doing randomizers, and we've been doing an async randomizer that we started just last week on the 25th. For those of you who don't know what asyncs are, they are randomizers that don't require everybody to be actively participating at the exact same time. You do it asynchronously whenever you can, really. For those, they tend to last a good long time because each player gets to play multiple games, and of course everybody just plays when they can, which is one of the nice things about it. In addition to randomizers, I've also been getting back into speedrunning. I've been specifically playing Yoshi's Island. Let me look to see what place I am currently. Warpless. I believe I am on page 2. Meow. I am place 180. At my best time so far is 2 hours, 27 minutes, and 25 seconds. Now, because of the async, I am paused on that for now. I will get back into speedrunning Yoshi in a little while. But I enjoy the game, and I've been trying my best. My ultimate goal is beating the game in less than 2 hours. If I can do that, that'd be cool. If I can get into the top 100, that would be even sweeter. But we'll jump that bridge when we get there. Earlier this month, I've also been playing Fallout New Vegas. I started a much strength and agility, no intelligence or charisma run. And that has been an interesting endeavor. I got the Mad Bomber perk because I also want to use like explosives, because one of the end-game weapons I'm planning on getting is the Red Glare, which is a like swarmer missile launcher. It's pretty cool. But with the Mad Bomber perk, I've gotten some pretty interesting things, like the Fat Mine. Which is a mini nuke, but it's rigged as a mine. So that was fun when I went into the tops and it killed Benny with it. I just sat... Well, first I walked into the place with no weapons, of course. But I had Eddie with me, and he has the ability to let you craft things on the go. So I just poke him, craft the fat mine, place it down, agitated Benny, step back, and boom! It just vaporized him and his guards instantly. It was hilarious. I've also gotten... there was MF grenades, which are interesting. For some reason, sometimes enemies just don't take damage from them. It's really weird. I think it's just a bug. which is funny because most of the time it is bugs that are avoiding that damage. But aside from that, there's also MF clusters, which I thought were going to be like literally grenade clusters, but they act more like throwing out a large series of mines because they wait for the enemy to get close before they detonate. It's been interesting. But of course, you did get a little tired with it after a while. Things get too easy, you know. The magic wears off. After that, I played a few new games. Persona 5, I started that. It's alright. Not too bad. It does bug me a bit in a bit of a way to see that all the enemies in the game are just Shin Megami Tensei generic enemies rather than the shadows that you'd fight in 3 and 4, which is a bit of a shame because the world maps, of course, the enemies appear as shadows. It's just when you instigate battle with them, they just turn into the Shin Megami guys. Which I think is mostly done because you sort of Pokemon the enemies that way. You knock everyone down, then you run up and you do the do with one of the guys, and they're like, hey, let's be friends! Which I guess, do what you're gonna do, I guess. But, as is the case with all Persona games, I feel, it does get a little stale after a while. So, I eventually put that down. I also started Lords of the Fallen, because I've heard about this game. It was like on sale for $1. I think $1.50 to be specific. And so it's like, oh, this is like the first Souls-like game. Like, not made by FromSoft, Souls-like. Trying to emulate Dark Souls. You get what I'm saying. They have like a reputation where it's like, it's not very good. I don't know how I feel exactly. So far, it's like, it's got that methodical combat that I like of the older Souls games. But its character customization is very limited. You're playing as a defined character. It's just, you have the choice of, I think, like a mixture of 3 things in 2 slots, is best I can describe it. Like, you choose whether you want to start as warrior, mage, or thief. And I forget what the other thing is. I think the other 3 is just what you want to use as your magic set. And magic is a little weird. It's not like how you... It's not like Dark Souls, where you can like cast a magic missile and stuff. It's more like an ability that has both a cooldown and requires MP. And your ability changes depending on which tree you wanted to go with. There's like a warrior skill set, and using your primary spell will create a decoy, and while it's out, you regen HP faster. If you choose the mage skill tree, you send out the decoy, but your MPs regens faster, and a thief does that too. I don't remember what they get. Obviously, I choose the magic guy because I'm a magic man. But I put it down, not too far into the game. Don't know what the rest of it's going to be like, but we'll come back to that when I feel up to it. Other games I started, Carrion is also on sale for cheap, as I tend to buy my games. Carrion was interesting enough. You're like a flesh monster. You kill people and destroy stuff. It was alright. It's a reverse horror game as it markets itself, where you're the monster sneaking around killing people and whatnot. I don't have any real strong feelings about it. Like if we have to weigh this on a scale of negative to positive, it's slightly past neutral on the positive side. Like, it's alright. A little bit of a thumbs up, but not something to write home about. I also tried the demo for Stellar Blade, because that came to Steam, and that was pretty fun. It lets you go up to, like, I'm going to assume it's the first boss. As you go through the tutorial, you fight the tutorial boss, then it lets you go throughout this city, and you fight this big boss. It feels very good to play. Like, I know people try to shit on the game for some reason. There's, like, weird people out there who vehemently hate beautiful women for some reason, but a Stellar Blade, it is more than just hot Korean girl. There's very solid combat, interesting world. Like, it opens up with you going to Earth in this assault. There's like these weird monsters, and apparently I guess the game takes place in the ruins of Earth, which sounds cool. You know, post-apocalyptic sci-fi. It's pretty neat. I like it, and the game is Souls-ish in that you need to be smart about how you play. The game rewards you for being able to block and parry and dodge, and it feels so good. It's hard to put into words, but if you try the demo, you'll probably see how it is. If you like Souls games, give it a shot. After all that, I did decide to continue my second file of Skyrim. I say that with quotations. It's the second file I ever actually beat the game with and didn't just give up after like 1 hour of gameplay because I got too bored. It's a file that I've been trying to do different things in from my first playthrough. For instance, I joined the vampires instead of the Dawn Guard and all that, but like it does help show the issues with Skyrim, the oversimplification of the series, where what you do doesn't really matter too much. I guess some people do say it's like it shows how half-baked the DLC for the Dawn Guard DLC is, because whether or not you choose to join the Dawn Guard, The missions play out the exact same. It's just choosing what flavor of enemy you want to go against for the next two missions when you get to do the choice of joining Harkin or not. But then it just smash cuts back to the Dawn Guard side in a way where it's like, oh, we need to kill Harkon. And I'm like, why? And there's no why. And then we just go through it, we kill Harkon. Huzzah. And so what do we get at the end of the day? Nothing. There's no real reason to join the vampires. I've heard that you can do the... what is it? Radiant quests? Because everybody loves Radiant quests. To get stuff specifically for boosting your vampire form, but so far I have not acquired anything. And by not joining the Dawn Guard, you just straight up miss out on being able to craft crossbows. Even the basic one, you can't get the Dwarven one either. It just kind of shit out of luck. The only way to get crossbows is by the numerous random encounters with Dawn Guard. Like, I constantly have, like, go into Falkreath because I use Lakeview Manor as my base. Go into Falkreath, and then suddenly the Dawn Guard rush in and start trying to kill me, and the Falkreath guards just go, "No, stay in it!" and watch me get pulverized, or I just completely zorch them with Lightning Storm. But yeah, you can get the regular iron crossbows, or steel, I guess, that way, and you can get the steel bolts, but that's all you can get. You, again, can't craft them, and you can't get any better ones. So, that was that. There isn't any real choice in the game, and it is kind of annoying. And it does take me out of the experience, but it's still nice to play Skyrim. Like, the game generally feels pretty good to play. Like, people disparage the game for what it's basically leading into how Bethesda is today. I can't really blame people for hating it too much for that reason, but, like, you can't say that Skyrim's a bad game. It's an okay game. It's worth a playthrough. Just the one. My secondary playthrough is partially just to screw around. They also added stuff with the special edition I've been trying out, like the fishing. But there's... mostly, I'm experimenting trying to do alternative things, but for the most part, you can't. But yeah, if you don't really mind a sort of railroaded experience, then go for it. The game's gotten released on like every console since inception, so you can play it on your platform of choice, no problem. Last week, I already said how we started an async last week, but also the Palworld Terraria update came out for, well, Palworld. Terraria still isn't updated yet. I don't know when they're going to do it. They've teased some stuff, but it'll probably be coming by the end of the year, I bet. The new Terraria stuff is pretty neat. I like it. It's nifty. There isn't, like, huge stuff in this update. It's mostly they added a whole ton of new water pals, and they added fishing mechanics, and those of you who know Meow, you know I like fishing. I like fishing a lot. You want to just chill with Meow, do something that isn't video games or other kind of games, take Meow out fishing. I will gladly be your fishing buddy. But in Pal World, they added like a bunch of miscellaneous items and the ability to go fishing, and I like that. It's nice. It makes the game feel more rich. They've also... I didn't see anything stated about it, but they did update settlements and stuff to where they look better. They don't just look like a couple of loose shacks and some random NPCs. They now look like lived-in places and are appealing to look at. And there are a butt-ton of quest NPCs scattered throughout the world now. They give you all manners of rewards. They even added Zoe from the first boss tower. She appears as an NPC that you can then do quests for. And you can get Zoe and Grisbolt as a unique pal. And there have been a lot of things. It's just like a lot of nice things. It is mostly a quality of life update, I feel. The Terraria stuff is like located all on its own little dungeon. They say little, but it's the largest subworld dungeon in the game. So far, at least. So, you gotta go to this dungeon if you want to get Terraria stuff. I've caught all manner of slimes, a few different bats, demonized, the Eye of Cthulhu, the enchanted sword from the Hollow, and there are a lot of things. Brain is fizzling a bit. Give me a second. It's just in general, the game is just nicer. And I will say it. I hope Nintendo loses the lawsuit, and I hope they lose it harder than they can ever lose it before. Because what they're doing is wrong. They patented this stuff post-mortem, which should not be legal. They only did it because Pal World actually shows itself to be something good and popular. They didn't like that, so they're going to take out the competition any way they can. Nintendo is not your friend. They never were, and they never will be. Remember that. I'm not going to look down on you if you buy Switch 2s or whatever. I know some people do. It's like, whatever. Let people play their games, man. I want a Switch 2 myself. I don't have the money yet. It's going to take me a while. But, like, I acknowledge that Nintendo's a shitty company, but there's nothing I can do to really do anything about them. Say, oh, boycott. It's like, yeah, I did boycott the Switch 1. But it became, like, the highest selling system, like, ever. Next to the DS and Wii. And I tell you, boycotts don't work when only one person does it. So basically I feel defeated in that front, but at the same time, Switch and Switch 2 games look nice, and I want them because well, I do like me some Pokemons, and I like me some Luigi Mansion, like me some Metroids, some Kirbo. Do I feel a little shitty about buying that stuff? Yes. But at this point, it doesn't really matter anymore, does it? Anyway, DBD's new event has come out. Dead by Daylight, for those who don't know what DBD means. It is not any real different from last year. Granted, it's okay. I like it. I still am finding myself absolutely enraged at teammates that refuse to do anything of use. I had some really bad games yesterday, the 29th. But I also had a few good games, and that got my spirits up again. But my interest in Dead by Daylight has honestly waned a good bit. Kind of comes and goes. And right now it is definitely in the going state. And to end this month, I've been playing Fallout 4. Those who know me know that I do not like Fallout 4. The game is a right stinker. But there's some activities that are a little interesting. Plus, I'm modding it. I have installed the Atomic World mod, which adds a bunch of new locations and stuff to the world, so that it's not just a bunch of islands of content in this empty void. There's actually stuff out there, like other towns, small places. It looks like an actual lived-in world, or once lived-in world, I guess you could say. And the other mod I haven't got to try yet, it's called the Marshlands DLC, which adds a new zone to go to. The entry to it is in the Glowing Sea, and I still need some stuff before I head down in that direction. I've been trying to get through the Automatron DLC stuff to unlock being able to make robot companions. And after I get some guys going between my settlements so I can do things, I'll probably head to the Marshlands DLC mod area. See what I can see, enjoy myself. Yeah, that was the June 2025 Gaming Diary. Thank you all for listening. Hopefully I can keep this up, make it a monthly tradition, and maybe you can talk about games you played too. You know, I like hearing what people do. Things that I'll probably be doing next month. I'm looking at Tunic and Slitterhead on the Steam Summer Sale. Both are half off. Slitterhead is a sort of like horror action game from the guy that made Silent Hill 1. And the other game is Tunic. Tunic being sort of Zelda 1 sort of thing. It's sort of isometric. But I like Zelda 1. Plus, it's in Archipelago, so who knows? If I like the game, perhaps I'll be playing randos of it. Well, have a pleasant July, folks. Be safe. Don't get into accidents. Drink responsibly. Peace, love, dope.